Jim Knowles, there's always some fascinating discussion around him. And 6 months obviously have passed now since the Peach Bowl debacle, and and the Michigan debacle 6 weeks prior to that, or 4 weeks prior to that, or whatever it was. So, he says he's still haunted by the big plays, but two big storylines that came out of his discussion is Sonny Styles is ready to play. It seems like, if not an every down role, at least some type of role for the Ohio State defense this coming season. And that's a good sign. I think a lot of people are excited about him as a former 5-star. And another 5-star recruit from last year, C.J. Hicks, a linebacker. Knowles predicts that at some point we are going to see him explode, and not in a bad way, but in a good way. And that wasn't his exact words. He used some other words to describe it, but
Unleashed.
basically he unleashed. We're going to see him unleashed. Thank you, T. You always have my back. So we're going to see him unleashed, and that sent the press corps on a downhill roll with about 12 more questions about how he's going to get C.J. Hicks involved. How do you do it? Do you force it in? Do you work it in? Is he going to be in special packages? Will he play the jack role? Or will it just be in the second half when they're ahead 44-0 and no reason for Tommy Eichenberg or Steele Chambers to be in harm's way, and he'll get his 11 tackles in the second half against Youngstown State or something? So, that remains to be seen, but all very exciting talk. The two of the exciting young players on defense, I don't know that either one of them are going to start the first game. I think that I would predict at some point in the season that they will both start at least a game. And, some of that's, probably because somebody in front of them will be hurt as much as anything, or Sonny Styles will just prove he's one of the best 3 safeties on the team. But so, yeah, very exciting. I thought that was interesting talk for them. And I'll throw it out to the other guys, or Mark can dictate, what else came out of yesterday's session. But those were 2 big headlines, I thought, from Jim Knowles.
The first time we talked to Jim Knowles last year, he was talking so highly about Mitchell Melton. Mitchell Melton had a good spring and then got injured, I think, in fall camp there, and missed the season, or maybe at the end of in the spring game, I think, and missed the season. But he's back full speed. They love his ability to rush the passer. They love his short area quickness. And Knowles and Larry Johnson just can't say enough good things about him. And I'm asking Larry Johnson, you guys are so confident in him, but he's never really been on the field. How can you have that confidence? He's like, well, we see more than you guys. Obviously, yes, you do. A little bit more. They're at the practices and whatnot, but they've seen enough that they're really, really confident, and really he's factoring into what you're going to see from the Ohio State defense this year, from the way coaches keep talking.
If there was a way to gauge the average productivity of a 5-star, because there are, you can't say, oh, well, they have got a bunch of busts. Well, there are busts all over the place in the 5-star category, but obviously that produces by far the highest percentage of NFL players. Do we think that their average 5-star, and I'm taking it to the highest degree, maybe high 4 stars, are performing collectively to the degree that they should?
Yeah, I actually looked at this. I think the linebackers not that long ago, maybe a couple of months ago, and the 5-star linebackers in Ohio State history. And, you can begin with the internet era, Mike DeAndrea in 2002, which is when Scout and Rivals started, Mike Mitchell in 2013, Curtis Grant, he waited until his senior year really to be pretty good. Same with Baron Browning's last couple of years. They took time. Etienne Sabino, his last year was about his best year. So a lot of these 5-star guys take time. Now, Raekwon McMillan was rotating in as a true freshman and was second-team All-American as a sophomore and a junior. I think of the internet era, he's probably the most successful. Baron Browning, I know there's going to be a lot of people saying he was terribly mishandled, and I don't know that you can question that, but the 5-star linebackers have, I would say, not lived up to the hype. But more often than not, you get something pretty good out of them as seniors. Dorian Bell, another example, 2009 5-star, does nothing at Ohio State. Mitchell Melton really did not. Mike Mitchell. Sorry if I said Mitchell Melton earlier. Mike Mitchell did nothing. So you got some guys like that, but it takes guys. Everybody has their own path, as all of the coaches like to say, and it has taken some of the linebackers a little bit longer than I think you would expect. And there's not really a long line of 5-star safeties at Ohio State. Sonny Styles is one. Von Bell is another. So, I can't offhand think of any other 5-star safeties. I'm sure there are a couple, but those two guys seem to be. The first one was an All-American. The second one seems to be working out so far, based on what the coaches are saying.